All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining our CEJA office hours. And our office hours are set up so that we can review some of our updates that recently went out, but then provide you, if you have any questions, it's a time that we can go through any specific questions that you have. So, one of the things that we went over this last time, but I'm just going to walk through the process again. So, part of it'll be a repeat from last week. Um, but after our session last week, I met with a group and there was I just want to point out a few little helpful tips, like as you go along, that'll help the process be smoother. So whenever you're adding services, hopefully you don't run into the same um, issues like they were having. So what we're going to do, I'm in as a test person, and I'm going to add a test account. And let's see. Today is 3/12. We'll just put an A after that. One of the things that went out is in the last production update was that you don't have to put an email in there. We do encourage you to put an email in there if they have it, because it's one of the data points that the system uses to check to see if this person already has an account within Illinois WorkNet, and then that way it can sync up to that account. But um, if they just don't have an email, then you can put no email address. So I'm going to put in an address that is in an area. And Chicago, Illinois, 60624. That should be in one of our EJCR3 areas. I'm going to pick the provider and I'm going to hit submit. I have my consent. Okay, we have the disclaimer. For time's sake, we'll just say no, we don't need any additional accommodations. One of the things to point out is that it does create an email address because we have to have one, but it's just a fake email address as a placeholder. So just leave that as it is, and just because what the system will do is go through and make sure that it provides an email that's not currently used in the system. And then just say that keep this checked as no email address, because what you really want to do is once they have an email address, you want to go back in and update it so that it's correct. So go ahead and put date of birth, pick something here. Are you interested? Yes, yes. We'll just say yes to everything. Yes, yes, yes. Have my address in there. I'll say prefer not to say for everything here. And then I can pick as many as I want or prefer not to answer. I can choose my veteran status. Do you have high school? Do you have a GED, high school equivalency, or a diploma? If I say no, I have to, I have this yes, no question. I'm just going to say yes for now. You can see we have the different um, what they're eligible for, and I'm going to do Climate Works. They're interested in participating. This is my organization. So this is where, first of all, if you're doing the pre-screening and you happen to do, you're entering information in the system after the fact, please put in like the actual date that you had for your pre-screening. I don't think it's quite as important on the pre-screening date, but it will be important, especially on the application date. So let's say we did this on March 3rd. Maybe I'm going to follow up with them on the 31st if I don't have anything, and then submit. So it's going to go through and populate the fields that I have, and then I'm going to have to go in here and put this fake email address in here because we have to do an email confirmation that it's correct. And then it's going to search for any applicants, and I don't have any I don't have anybody in the system, so it created an account, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this information real quick while I'm right here, and you'll see why in a second. And I'm going to continue to complete the application with the applicant. So again, it fills in the information that's available. I'm going to say this person has a social, but it's not, they don't have the card. And then I'm going to put the phone number in here and the type, date of birth. Are you authorized to work? Yes. Oh, I'm away. Go ahead and do that. And then, okay, so this is where it went ahead and pulled over my pre-screening date. So if you put the, backdate your pre-screening date to when the real pre-screening happened, then, it's going to pull that date over here. Let's just say that I did the pre-screening, but maybe I did the application the, the next day for whatever reason. I can save and go to the next page. And so why the application date is really important, that you have it in there accurately, is that whenever you go to add your services, if you, let's say maybe your application date was on the 4th and you started your services on the 5th, but maybe, you're a little behind on putting information in the system for whatever reason, and you put the application in on the 6th, but then you start going and trying to add services prior to that date, it's not going to let you start a service before the application date. So it's important to have the correct application date in the system, and then you won't have an issue whenever you enter your services. So I'm going to go ahead and go to intake, and then I have my application here. And one of the new things that we added was the signature piece. So as the applicant, I can use, I can either send a link to the customer, but of course, if they don't have a real email address, then that's not going to work. I mean, the system will try to send it, but it's not obviously going anywhere. You can upload a signed application, or you can enter the person can, if they're especially with you, what, well, if they're with you, they can enter in the, what do you call it, username and password. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste those in there, and then I'm going to sign up. You can see it put in the applicant's signature, and then I can save this as, I think I'm tester 1, and then sign that. And then it puts the applicant signature and the case manager signature. Those dates are in there. I can print this. One of the things, I think, yeah, if you go to print it, it just make sure you open all the sections, and then you'll be able to print that for your records. And then go to intake. And whenever you go to your intake, then you'll be able to see the pre-screening. You can see um, when the application was completed. We have the completion date, but then we have this today it was actually signed. So, but I still believe I can double check it, but the services will actually be, um, you can start it after your completion date. And let's see here. If you do an uploaded document if you're signing an application and do the upload, it lets you backdate that so you can know that it was signed at an earlier date. Are there any questions? I just wanted to cover some of those things that we, um, that were released to production, and then also cover, some questions that some other people had when they were having some difficulty adding in their services. Do you have specific questions that you would like to cover? Let me see. I saw some in chat. I've tried emailing it. Okay. You've tried emailing. Okay, I'll have my developers look at the emailing the link. All right. Well, um, let's see. Do we have Larry? Do we have any of the CEJA team that wants to cover anything? I we did update the um, partner guide to let you know that the TA session that was scheduled for the 18th was canceled. Were there any other announcements or questions?
I don't have anything. Natasha, this is Larry.
We have a quiet group today.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
I did have a problem I was going back into some of our pre-screening applications,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to complete the application, and I kept getting a like a spinny thing. It wasn't letting me click go back to a pre-screening app.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how when you in preschool, okay, you can go.
Mm-hmm. I have to go back to my groups now because I did it straight through there. So you pick a person that has the pre-screening,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to be patient with test. Test takes
It's been a
forever to
little
load the
testy lately,
screen.
I will say. It's been a little testy a lot of last couple of days. Okay, it's
Slower.
been, I don't know if that was because of the updates or something,
Uh, for me,
because it's
production
still,
is usually pretty quick, but we can look at it.
so.
Yeah, we can definitely look at that. Okay, so a person that has a pre-screening, are they, yeah,
It
are
says
they,
pre-screen. Mhm.
yeah, okay, pre-screening. I don't know how old this
And
person, last update.
so, yep.
Let me just real quick see how old this person is. Let me try to get a pre-screening from a little bit more recent here. These are all test people, so let me
Okay, no problem.
applicant. Sometimes whenever I get into old stuff, it's gets goofy on us. Pre-screening. Yeah. Take a look at this. This one's a little bit older too, but all right, pre-screening. Then like their
Okay.
intake.
And I click the pre-screening, and then I start trying to, like finish it. And then you know how you go down some more, like you keep going, and then you click in everything, and then
It's getting hung up on the address.
yeah, it's getting right here where it says customer pre-screen. Like I'm not getting no results. It's like spinning. It's not letting me select anything where normally I can do a drop down like down here.
Yeah.
Yep. Go. Yeah, it's like doing this little spinny
Yeah,
thing.
it's right here. It's getting caught up right there.
Yeah.
Cause if I did no or any of these. Let me have someone look at that today and see if that's something that we could get a hot fix out soon, like today or tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Natasha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can do a screenshot of this.
I was gonna create a ticket, but I was like, you know what? We have office hours. I'll just wait.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good. Come on. Hey, move this. All right, yeah, I'll get with the developer after this and see if it's something we can get something either because our next production release isn't till next what is today, Wednesday? It's not till next Thursday. So this would be something that'd be a hot fix because it's not something you can get around.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Hello, I have a question. This is Francis James, case manager at Safer Foundation. Let me put my hand down. My question is it possible for us to look over the Employment 101 assessment? Myself and clients, we have been having, some trouble getting it completed because the order in which things should be completed in the assessment aren't really clear. So when I asked them to complete it, I think I may have one client that's been able to complete it. Could we go through
That's
that
been
really
able
quick?
to complete it or like
Yes,
has
yes, yes, been able to complete it. I know I had one client that kind of got stuck at one point and they were receiving like error messages. I do have screenshots somewhere. I sent them to my supervisor. I'm not sure if she sent them over, but we were getting like error messages when we get to the point where they have to do a career, they have to pick training partners that they may be interested in the assessment. Where are my
Yeah, if you could
screenshots?
send that to me,
Sure.
because we have another program that uses Employment 101 like all the time.
Hmm.
So I can check with them to see if there's anything that's they've noticed that's been up or out. Um, so this is tests and it's not gonna let me, this is a test person, so they don't really have anything. But to
Hmm.
view it, you should like when you go to like I'm in this person. Well, actually, yeah. Let me go to a person that's actually
If it'll make it
used.
easier, we can look into one client in particular of mine if you'd like to use that.
Just send me the screenshots. I don't want to
Okay.
put like their personal information. But I just want to show you where, or other people might have that same question. It's like, can I see it? And so we have it. There's a couple of places where you can look at it. You can go to assessments, and then it's under Employment 101, and you should be able to click this link to see it, or you can see if they have yes or no for the pre and post assessment. And then the other place is under career plans. Close out some of these other windows. um, Under review assessments, it's the same type of module. It's just under, the career plan area, and then under Employment 101. That's where you should be able to view it and to be able to see if they've taken the post assessment and so forth. But yeah, send me that information and we can take a look at that, those individual customers, but then also I'll check with the group that uses Employment 101 like all the time and see if they're having any issues.
Okay, thank you. I'll
Hmm.
send those over because I can't close out any services until it's complete. So I'll
The
send those
You
over
can't.
soon.
Oh, what do you mean you can't close
Like
out services?
trainings, like when you're going to close out, like they started a training. If they completed one portion on it, it won't let me complete it, and I got a message stating that that career assessment has to be done. I'll send the screenshots to give context.
If it's a
Yeah,
training service, like
yeah,
let's
under
just say
these
here,
services. Mm-hmm.
okay. So these are not tied to Employment 101, but I'll show ya where. Let's see here. So I don't remember who. I just picked somebody, so I have no idea what they're. We'll pick the state. We'll just say they're. Um, we'll say started. We'll say we're planning on finishing at this date, and we'll just put 0, whatever. And then I can update the customer, and they want a case note. Fine. And it says that you need a provider. So, okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to select this provider. I usually do the provider first, but I just want to show you that it's going to tell you that you need a provider. Is it? Oh, yeah. That's a goofy glitch thing that I want them to look at too. I don't have. Hold on. Let me do a screenshot of that one real quick too. Okay. And then, okay, so in order, what it might be saying is that when you need a post assessment for the training services,
Yes, it
re
does.
require you to have a post
Yeah,
assessment. So what it's saying is that you have to score 70% or higher. And then
yeah.
for each of the training services, whatever test ABC, and my score was 80 or the person's score was 80%, and they did it on the 11th, and then save. So once that you have this post assessment score on there, and these are the things, the training services are set up so that it requires a service provider and a post assessment in order for it to be marked as successfully completed. And then once you do that, then you can, put in the actual completion date and update the service and whatever. And then save it. And then you can mark these services as complete. So for the services that are automatically, like populated down in
Mhm.
here, these aren't tied to Employment 101. We'll still look at Employment 101 if you're having any
Mhm.
issue. But if you're talking
Definitely,
about
yeah.
these specific types of services that are training services, you just need to make sure you have your provider and your post assessment to mark it as complete. You have to have a passing post assessment.
Okay, I guess I just assumed it. I'll send you the screenshots. It falls under in that same category under Employment 101. So it was like a lengthy assessment that kind of has, let me look at this screenshot. It says pre-assessment 80%, post-assessment no, employment 101 not started, and this is on the employment 101 drop down, and this is for a particular client.
Yeah, where that's
So I
gonna make
thought
the
it was part
difference
of
is
it.
on this progress page,
Hmm.
and it's gonna say right here, employment 101, it like this test person, they're not completed.
Hmm.
And then you have meets the attendance requirement. This is the yes, no, this is a manual type thing. It's going to default to that they're meeting the attendance requirement until someone says no, they're not. And it's just more of like a red flag that this there something needs to be done with this person. And then the meets post assessment, like if I refresh this, then is this where the confusion's coming in? Like does the person think that this is tied to this? Because it's not. This is
I
one
mhm.
line item, and this one is related to any of these services that are down here.
No, I guess the confusion comes in when I go to the sidebar that says assessments. When I click that for a client that I've began the assessment on,
Hmm.
and I click Employment 101 in that screen, under Employment 101, it has Employment 101-GN2, and then the
Hmm.
categories underneath are pre-assessment taken, post-assessment taken, and Employment 101. So I guess that's why I assumed that the post-assessment they were speaking of is attached to Employment 101 because it's under the Employment 101 drop down in the progress with Employment 101. I'm going to send you these right now
Yeah.
so you can
Okay.
possibly see these. Okay. Word.
Okay. Yep. So we'll take a look at those. See if they come in here soon, but
Sorry, your email isn't populating. Could you give it to me so I can send this right
I
now?
sure can.
Thank you.
Let me put it in the chat real quick.
Okay.
I gotta find my right screen now. I gotta find my chat. Where's my chat? Oh, good gravy. Chat. There you go. It's in the chat.
Thank you.
Mhm. Question, do we track the hours participants spend working on employment one outside of class? And that, I mean, that would be, I guess, more of a Larry type question, but the system, we don't have a place for you to track those.
I would say that's right. Yeah, Natasha.
Oops, sorry, it's coming off mute myself there. Was that question for the purpose of trying to calculate training hours? Because that wouldn't be considered to be training.
Yes, that was. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
It looked like someone else was having the same issue, so we'll take a look. Like I said, we'll take a look at the Employment 101 and see what's going on and if that other group has recently experienced an issue. Okay, so I'll look at the employment. I see your things here. So yeah, pre-assessment was taken. Looks like on this one person, the post-assessment, but if you send me that person's, or maybe I have it here. I'll look at this person's name. I'm assuming that these screen captures are all for the same person.
Yes.
Okay, I'll look at that person in production. But then, yeah, so the red bar that's marked on there for OSHA 10 short-term services looks like it just needs to have the passing. You have to have the a post-assessment score entered on that tab. For that particular one, but we'll look at Employment 101. All right, any other questions? Let me look here. All right. If you don't have any other questions, we'll give you back almost 30 minutes. All right, well, thank you, everyone. As
Thank
a
you.
follow-up, I'll check on the email link for the signing the application, and then I'll look at yeah, oh, and then the pre-screening once you go back into it, and then like the spinning, and then Employment 101. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.